Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This week I watched a small indie film called Puss in Boots. I didn't even know this movie existed until I started seeing references about it on social media. And while Puss in Boots: The Last Wish isn't as genre defying, it's a pretty entertaining movie about a cat coming to grips with his mortality. The animation style is a pretty cool blend of 2D and 3D animation, and I, like everyone else, have to highlight that the frame rate changes once the character enters into a fight/action scene. Inspired by Into the Spider-Verse, I don't necessarily find this particularly fascinating, but it's not annoying as well, so I'm cool with it. It's
Just right.
The plot is well paced and engaging, with a good balance of action, comedy, and heart. There isn't much to add here, so let's get into the meat of this movie analysis. Before that, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more content. Despite being a light-hearted family film, it still manages to touch on pretty heavy-hitting themes of morality, anxiety, trust, and optimism in the face of adversity. This duality doesn't feel jarring because the movie lets its heavy scenes breathe and doesn't undermine it with some quick joke, but rather it slowly transitions to a lighter one. This is perfectly shown in the scene where Puss sees the wolf and flees into the forest, and Perito helps Puss calm down. Now, we can't stay with Puss in this state forever. The plot has to move forward. The movie decides to do this tastefully. Kitty Softpaws is used to transition the tone. If this was Marvel, Perito and Kitty Softpaws would have made a joke about Puss's debilitating anxiety. Though, I would like to point out that I find it funny how the movie uses Perito as a support dog for a literal cat. They pre-decided the themes they wanted to explore, and they hand-picked characters that can fittingly do so. So I really applaud the studio for digging through the arsenal of public domain characters. Mickey Mouse will soon enter this domain. While the movie touches on multiple themes, the main one revolves around life and death. Life is depicted by a cat with 9 lives, a gift that gives the opportunity to live them. Though, in Puss's case, he doesn't value this gift of life. And then we have death, represented by a wolf. Now, I couldn't come up with one reason why death is depicted by a wolf. So, I came up with four. The first one, a quick Wikipedia search
Wikipedia? Using Wikipedia as your source of information?
of German and Norse mythology shows that wolves were often a symbol of destruction and death. Second, wolves are known hunters, and in the case of this movie, death hunts our protagonists all throughout. Third, life and death are opposites, so the creators had to sort of find an opposite to a cat. Well, the obvious answer for bizarre reasons would be a dog, but they already have a dog as a supporting character in Perito, so they went with the most badass animal from the canine family, the wolf. Fourth, some of this may feel like a stretch, and it probably is, but it just fits and makes sense. So I don't know if they picked the themes around the characters or they picked the characters for the themes. Since it's obviously a Puss in Boots movie, we kinda know the answer, but it fits so well that I can't tell. This is kind of like the egg and chicken situation.
Relax! I am Puss in Boots!
Puss starts off as a brave, pompous, self-obsessed cat who is overconfident and has drunk the Kool-Aid of his own legend. He is impulsive and jumps into danger without a care in the world and without any hesitation. This is established in the opening scene where Puss's foes keep getting bigger, literally an earth kaiju bigger. But after his encounter with the wolf, Puss's demeanor changes. This is a bloody brilliant scene, and it's important to note that the wolf doesn't threaten Puss's life to get him to change his ways. No, no, no. He just wants to collect Puss's life on his sickle. Puss's changes come as a byproduct. The outcome has been achieved. Puss has been humbled and humiliated to a point that he buries his legendary identity. However, the motivation for these string of actions is driven by fear and not by valuing the life he has left, and that is the reason why the wolf still chases him. The pursuit of the last wish wasn't his main journey. His main journey was to make lasting bonds with others and look outwards from himself and his ego. It's only when Puss learns to value life and those in it that he understands that he can't beat death. He accepts his mortality and stands firm to fight for his newfound appreciation for life and those in it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is called brilliant character development.
Soft paws. Kitty soft paws.
Kitty is a mercenary who can't depend on others. She can only ever rely on herself.
Never again. I am a solo art.
In the previous movie, she and Puss form a bond. We are led to believe that this trust was broken by Puss in Santa Coloma, only to later reveal that she too had bailed on the wedding because she couldn't trust him to show up. She was right, of course, but this very clearly shows Kitty's distrust of others. Despite all these cynical traits, she does have a heart. She cares, and this is shown time and time again. It's shown well when she overhears Puss have his anxiety attack and she doesn't let him know she's seen that side of him. She's a considerate softie. But my favorite scene that really highlights Kitty's personality is in her reactions to Perito's funny sock story. But at the end, through Perito, she learns to slowly open up and lay trust in others, even Puss, who so far hasn't given her much. I would also like to highlight that Puss was able to change the tides in his fight with Death using the gatito blade Kitty had given him, signifying the strength of their bond. The chemistry between Antonio Banderas and Selma Hayek is always great. Love those two in the film.
If it's the same to you, I think I'll just stick with Perrito.
When I first saw the trailer, I thought this dog would be one annoying character, but to my surprise, I actually enjoyed his presence. His personality is also very well established. Happy, not a care in the world optimism, which makes the world a better place to live in, as opposed to the cynical outlook cats have towards the world. He's just a pure soul. Even the map to the last wish knows it. He also has to be a character without any well defined motivation other than getting named by his friends. Despite lacking motivation, his character just works. Between Puss's outlaw insouciance and Kitty Softpaw's aggressive trust issues, Perito feels like a breath of fresh air. I think it's due to the fact that everyone in this movie has some sort of complexities with varying levels of self serving motivations. It feels nice to have a truly selfless character in the muck with so much selfishness around. He's so stupidly optimistic that it is cute, and you just want to protect that little thing from the dangers of the world. This is how dogs get you, with genuine love. And you can see this in his star moment in the dark forest when Puss is hyperventilating, and all Perito does is lay on his stomach and he immediately feels better. No words, just a touch, and that's all it took. A movie's protagonists only shine through when their antagonists are compelling. There are those who challenge the protagonist's quest, adventures, schemes, but it's the ones that get under the protagonist's skin and psyche that are the most enduring ones. The best thing about this movie is that it has both and explores this with three major archetypes of antagonists.
I'm deaf, straight up.
The wolf has to be one of the most chilling antagonists in animation history. His introduction scene in the movie is a testament to these statements, and even in the end, he doesn't lose. He chooses to walk away, leaving Puss with a sigh of relief. We, the audience, only realize that the wolf is the literal personification of death towards the end when he says it.
And I don't mean it metaphorically or rhetorically or poetically or theoretically or in any other fancy way.
But the movie offers hints throughout the film. It actually shows us the wolf even before his introductory scene with Puss. It was on the second rewatching that I noticed he was actually present in the opening scene of Puss fighting the huge earth kaiju. We can actually see the wolf in the background amongst cheering citizens. His motivation is simple. Teach a lesson to the cat that doesn't respect its life and that laughs in the face of death.
Pussy Puss laughs in the face of death.
So I've heard.
While I don't agree that death can claim Puss's last life purely based on disrespect, but I can get behind it. And with hubris like death's, it makes sense.
But no one's escaped me yet.
But despite this, in the end, he chooses to walk away from the last fight since the arrogant cat he came for is no more. While he might be a wolf of ego, he's also a wolf of principle, and that is what makes him truly terrifying.
Little Jacks. Dead! I'm Big Jack Horner.
As a character, he's the big bad of the movie. He's a bad guy because he wants to be a bad guy. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He has no sad background or a terrible upbringing.
Just loving parents, and stability in a mansion, and a thriving baked goods enterprise for me to inherit.
He's purely greedy and wants to own the magic of the world in the palm of his hands.
The power of the sun in the palm of my hand.
There isn't much to him. He isn't some complex troubled baddie. He's bad for no other underlying reasons. I'm glad they didn't try to give him a redemption arc either. Though I felt they did try to bait us with Jiminy Cricket, or in this movie, the ethical bug, who took it upon himself to develop a conscience in Jack Horner, which was a task in itself.
I really have my work cut out for me on this one.
And I'm glad he failed. Their interactions are fantastic to watch, with Jack committing the most heinous acts and the bug over there losing it, trying to not froth at the mouth and not pass out with what Jack just said or did. I love that Jack Mulaney voiced him. His voice is just music to my ears.
I was bullied for being Asian American. And the biggest problem with that is that I am not Asian American.
always reminds me of vaudeville humor, and it always cracks me up. It is just what was needed for Jack in this movie.
Alright, you've just been crimed by the Three Bears crime family.
I like how the movie introduced Goldie and the Bears. They really leaned into the fairy tale. Having the Bears be English was just too funny. It suddenly turned into a Guy Ritchie movie there, and I loved it.
Oh, please.
No.
I said play a game with me, Raymond.
Right.
Lovely.
In this Puss in Boots movie, Goldie and the Bears are definitely antagonists. But if you flip the point of views, then Goldie and the Bears can easily be our protagonists. To understand this further, let's break down their motivation. Goldie, despite having a loving and caring family, still feels the need to seek out the last wish, not realizing that what she is looking for was right in front of her all along. This is only a testament to how much of an outsider she felt like all the time, and who can't relate to that? The Bears take in an orphan girl who stumbles into their house under their wing. They look after her and naturally grow to love her, and which caring family wouldn't want to support their child's dreams and endeavors? None of this takes away from how selfish Goldie was by not only lying to them about the wish, but also using them to get the very wish that would lead her to abandon them. These motivations are solid, however, the conflict between them is revealed quite late and resolved rather quickly. I only wish they let the conflict sit amongst them a little while longer. On a lighter note, they aren't as menacing as the wolf or ruthless as Jack Horner. They are just right. I couldn't help myself. They don't come across as a very calculative or a smart bunch. Goldie, at the end of the day, is just a child. This movie is drenched with references, like the actor who voices Puss plays an iconic 90s character Zorro, and the movie subtly but not subtly nods to this reference. In the opening scene when Puss carves the iconic P on the governor's coat, Zorro style. And in the end, when Jack goes down with a star, you can see he does a thumbs down, clearly an homage to the Terminator. And in between these are like a million more references and nods, and I can't fit them all in here. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, I need to get some sleep. All in all, this movie truly rewards the keen eye on the second rewatch. You can tell there was a lot of time and care that went into making this film, and I'm glad it is getting the recognition it deserves. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, it helps the channel, and if you didn't like it, feel free to leave a thumbs down and let me know in the comments below why you disagree with it. Also, do let me know who your favorite character was and why. And on that note, I will see you all in another video. Bye bye.